Hello, heroes and villains of Endsweek. This is Michael, this is Zach, and I am Sean. Welcome to Board Game Centric.
Hey guys, what's up? It is episode 7 of Heroes vs. Villains. And we've got our special guest, Sean, back with us this time around.
Super special.
Super special, yeah. So, this week we played 3 games. We played Decrypto. We played...
Avoid the angry water snakes.
Tsuro of the Seas. And we played, what?
Masters
Gallery.
It was a very fancy game.
So, definitely some really interesting games we chose this time.
Yep. And?
First game of the night was Decrypto.
Oh, loved it. It's an ILO game, so you know it's a good game. It had a good feel. The quality to it was amazing. Except my copy, I do have to add some glue to one of the boards. It's kind of coming apart. It just came like that, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's not big.
You get that.
It's not big deal. It was a lot of fun. Super fun. I mean, you break up into teams. We actually only played 3 players. Us 3 played the game. So instead of having even teams where each team has a decryptor and a coder, I guess, like they're the ones trying to figure the message out, and then the other team is trying to figure that out and intercept the messages. It was really just one person was trying to intercept the team that had 2 people on it.
Yeah. And the team hoped that they understood each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, communication and an understanding of your partner's capacity is pretty important.
Exactly.
There were some clever shenanigans that went on.
It's a lot of fun because your goal was to give a hint to a word so they would know which number it associated with without letting your opponent know how it correlated with the previous hints that they got before. So on a scale of 0 to 10 or 1 to 10, Zach.
Going with my classic, my standard, 8 out of 10. I love the game. It's a game that has a lot of replayability, and I see myself playing it a bunch. It's 3. I think it's 3 to 8 players.
Yes,
3 to 8. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a huge plus when we have a lot of those game nights where we have randomly like 7 or 8, sometimes 9, which is a bummer. They go home. We kick them out. But it's nice to have a game where you can have a big multiplayer game. I feel like usually those games are very small and not super good in other instances with player counts. This one kind of works.
Right, I agree. I'd say 8 out of 10 for pretty much the exact same reasons. I'm not a huge party game fan. I don't like, let's get a bunch of people together and let's play a game. But this one was a lot of fun. I could get behind it because of the interaction with not only your team, but the interaction with the opposing team as well. Mm-hmm. So, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, don't want to sound like I'm just following lead here, but 8 out of 10. I mean,
that's right.
Wasn't perfect, but you know what? I have no real complaints either. It was very simple, easy to learn. For what it was very fun and pretty creative. I liked it.
And who won that? Villains?
Villains is the only game Villains won this week. Doesn't matter. Still in the lead.
Yeah, that's true.
What is it? 12-9? That's something. Yeah, 12-9.
I'm sure it'll be in the video. I'm sure you guys will see.
He'll put it begrudgingly.
I really don't want... just ignore the number. Alright, second game. We played Masters Gallery. Masters Gallery was really cool. It's kind of similar to an older game called Masterpiece where you dealt with different arts and things. It was more of... You basically took turns playing like these different colored cards, different artists, old school artists like Van Gogh and things like that. And once you hit a certain amount of people in their displays, that ended the round, and you played 4 rounds of cards. It was straightforward. The point system was straightforward. Like, it was simple.
So what would you rate it?
If I had to rate it, 7 out of 10, maybe.
Really?
Like, it... And I think it's just mostly because of how simple the game was. It was an easy game to learn. It's a really fast game. The box says 20 to 40 minutes. I think.
Not even close to
And
40
it was,
minutes.
I think we were done in 15. We got to the last round. We weren't even able to draw cards according to the rules. And so the last round ended immediately. So that was a downside, but it was a fast game.
Yeah. How'd you feel, Sean?
Yeah, I would say I might roll with the 7. I feel like 6, but art stuff has a special place in my heart. But I'm an art nerd. I totally was digging the whole Renaissance Master theme behind it. Like he's saying, super simple. I mean, it took us no time to pick that game up. And it was over real quick, so if you just need to kill a quick 15, 20 minutes, it's a great game. And it's interesting and pretty unique. I've never played anything
It would definitely
like
be one of my, like, in the backpack type of games.
Yeah.
Like, just throw it in there and be like, cool. Got something easy to play that you can pull out on any table, pretty much.
And that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I love games you can I
Wow.
love games you could just throw in your backpack, throw in your purse, throw in your satchel, your fanny pack, big pockets, put it in your pocket.
With the fanny pack.
It's a good game. Like I always say, you could take camping with you. And if you want to teach somebody, break it down into to make it a little more simple, break it down into colors instead of artists. It kind of makes it a little easier to learn. The only thing I didn't like was trying to learn how to score the cards. It was a little rough at first, but once you do it once, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, once you got it, it was fine. The very first part was a little confusing.
Yeah, and the only other detractor I have, and it wasn't that great of a detractor, was the card drawing between rounds, how it's a diminishing hand. It did force us to end the game early, or at least from what we understand, we ended the game early because of it. Because we went around 4 with no cards.
Round. It was just the last round, though.
Not a huge deal. And like they said, it's a game you can just pick up, throw down, awesome, add it to your collection with Ogre Cheerleaders.
You love that game.
That was a great game. That's a fun game.
Alright, Zach, you want to talk about our last game?
Yeah, avoid the danger snakes. Tsuro of the sea.
Tsuro?
I think the T is silent. I'm going to go with
I think
that.
the R's and L's sound... Well, maybe not. That doesn't matter.
Okay, avoid Gyarados. He's intense, he's angry, and he could spawn more. They all look angry. Pretty fun game. It goes up to what, 8 players?
Yeah,
Also,
8 people can play all at the same time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, well, all of these games really are kind of quick games. I mean, we didn't have any one game
fast.
lasted.
It was pretty fast. It has a 20. Yeah. It has a 20 to 40 minute game time, and it probably took us 20 minutes.
Only because Michael kept throwing in extra danger snakes, and it was terrifying.
I'm pretty sure he's the only person that was birthing those.
Yeah, and you know a lot were coming. When we'd start with 3 in the round, Michael would kill one, and then in the round with 7. Science can't explain it. I lost in 3 turns because I just got surrounded.
You just have to win somehow.
Yeah.
So what was awesome about it is we started the game off. It's basically you have the ocean. Daikaiju are flying around the ocean. You're trying to survive. You don't fight them off. At least not in this. I think the expansion maybe. But you're basically just trying to avoid them as they're flying through the sky and stay alive. You can't go off the board, which kills you. You can't go into the Daikaiju, that kills you. You can't let the Daikaiju come close to you, that kills you. You can't you can't get caught in an infinite loop. You play tiles, and that tile dictates your direction. It was really cool. It was really simple. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So what would you rate it, Sean?
I would say I'd give this one an 8 too. Again, quick learn. Pretty fast-paced game, so if you wanted a game, you could just bust out a couple of rounds in no time. It was real good for that. I feel like the only criticism I have for this game, honestly, is I feel like games that can eliminate a player almost right off of the rip it's a thorn in my side. I don't like being like, oh, hey, let's start. Oh, and it's over. And that happened to Zach, literally. It was all like,
3
so...
turns.
Did he? I thought it was 2.
No, it was 2. In my 3rd turn, I was forced to kill myself.
Right. Seppuku.
There you go.
A whole boat of them did it.
Disgraced his whole family.
Whole clan.
It was awesome.
But aside from that one small thing, I thought it was a really fun game. I liked it.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and say 9 out of 10 for sure. Like this is one of the top games. It was a game that I wanted for sure, and playing it, it was fast. It was easy to learn. Dying at the beginning, I could see where that's frustrating. I've been there. Now in this game, I won. But
Yeah.
Heroes. But dying at the beginning of the game, I get that. But the game went by pretty quick, and it was still interesting even for you. Like, you were watching it, you were sitting out for a little bit. It wasn't long. I think Sean died 2 turns later, and then that was it. Game over. You start over.
The whole game wrapped up start to finish like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was quick.
It was fast. It's definitely a game that I'll bring to the table and teach everyone else, at least.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with Michael. 9 out of 10. I love the chaos factor to this game. Normally, I'm really against it, and I kind of go like with Sean, where when you start the game, you lose. That's a bummer, but that can absolutely happen to everybody. It can happen to most of the people that play this game. Even if you get a full roster, you could probably lose the first 6 people in 2 turns. You know, so the game is going to be over quicker.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, and I feel like the more players you have, it's going to actually speed the game up. Once they know how to play the game, it'll go faster. It's an easy game to learn. It's a fun game to play. It looks fantastic. It's got great art, very thematic. And I would highly recommend that to somebody. That is a fun game, especially because it has a high player count. And I feel like games with higher player counts usually aren't good, but you do get about half the time. Most of the games that we've seen to have higher player counts are tragically terrible, with the exception of stuff like these and Masquerade and what was that, the Wolf game? I don't remember that one, but it's a fun game.
I'm not sure.
It's like Heads Up 7 Up. I don't remember.
Oh, One Night Werewolf. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
It was a great game.
But I feel like
that's a lot of fun with bunch of people.
And I feel like a lot of the games that our friends like to buy aren't that great with more players, or they try to break the game to add more players to it with their expansions, and it doesn't really work. So coming from a bad background, I think this is amazing. I would love to see more games like this, and I hope we do experience more like that.
We'll have to get the other one and play that. And I have the expansion, so we'll do the expansion maybe sometime soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Overall, these games were all pretty fun. They all kind of, I think, exceeded expectations for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially the gallery one, Master's Gallery. I think that was kind of like went in, I don't know, and it exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I hated it at first, but by the end of it, it was pretty fun.
It was fun. So, guys, that's it. That is all for episode 7 of Heroes vs. Villains. Heroes came out on top this week, 2-1.
Still losing in the long run. That's okay. Villains play the long game if you watch any movie or cartoons.
There's still a lot more of this season left to go. So, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, as usual, don't forget, like, share, subscribe.
Hit that bell icon!
There you go, because that's what Zach says. And Sean, any final comments?
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, Sean will probably come back.
Yeah, you better be.
Yeah, I'll come back.
We'll see about that.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
You decide!
Thanks, guys. It was a blast. And remember, it's all in the box.
Forever. Forever. Forever.
Okay.
He's gonna keep doing this, isn't he?
Forever.